Good morning, I'm Janae Norman.
And I'm Kenneth Moten. Here are the top 5 things to know this Friday. Number 1, the ongoing tensions with Iran.
President Trump has reportedly told the Pentagon he does not want a war with Iran. Intelligence photos have shown cruise missiles on Iranian boats, but the Wall Street Journal reports the tensions may be a misunderstanding.
The Journal also reports Iran may have thought the U.S. was about to attack first.
Number 2, the jet crash in Southern California.
A fighter pilot ejected moments before this F-16 crashed into a roof of a warehouse, injuring 12 people.
Hydraulic problems are being blamed. That pilot, amazingly, is okay.
On to number 3, some school bus scares caught on camera.
They are hard to watch, but look at this. As a 4th grader in Minnesota nearly hit by that car illegally passing a stopped school bus. The car's driver recently pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor.
And in Ohio, surveillance video shows a car hitting 2 kids who had just gotten off the bus. Police say the driver took off but later surrendered. Incredibly, those kids were not seriously hurt. We spoke to one boy who was hit and his mother.
It happened fast, and I flew up in the air.
I'm very, very upset. She could have killed my son that day. It would have been the last time that I hugged and kissed my son.
So listen to this. Researchers estimate there are 80,000 school bus stop violations each day. Some lawmakers are taking action to impose stiffer punishments.
A bill in New York would attach cameras to buses to take photos of cars that illegally pass. And in Florida, a statewide education effort has been launched to make sure kids and parents know how to stay safe.
On to number 4 now. It was a battle of the brothers again last night in the NBA playoffs.
Steph Curry scored 37 points to lead the Warriors to another win over the Blazers. His brother Seth scored only 16.
But each brother made 4 3-pointers, and Seth stole the ball from his older brother 4 times. Crazy night for their parents. They meet again Saturday.
And finally, number 5, if you're planning to knock back a few this weekend, you're not alone.
A new global survey ranks the drunkest nations in the world based on the average number of times a year people say they get drunk. Number 1 is Great Britain, where people get drunk an average of 51 times a year.
Give me a pint.
The United States is a close second with 50 times a year.
Give me a Bud Light. Canada, Australia, and Denmark round out the top 5.
So in the U.S., that's about once a week.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That's it.
That's fair. We're all working for the weekend.
What's that song about people getting drunk? It's a country song. You guys know it? Anybody? We'll figure it out. No, that's not it. They're singing it in my ear. Oh, also drink responsibly, America. Well, let's go.
I was gonna ask.
You drink to get drunk? It's family tradition.
I was gonna ask if you came up with this song. I see you got the lyrics
Hank
up.
Williams Jr.
Sing it for us.
They say, why do you drink to get drunk? Why do you smoke, roll smoke? to get. So there we go. I figured it out, guys. I figured it out. With the help of our producer, Digital Dave.
Thank goodness.
Thank you. So let's get to the big story.
Yeah.
The growing fears of war amid rising tensions with Iran. The U.S. is flexing its firepower within striking distance of Tehran after warning of an imminent attack. As Congress gets more details about the threat, President Trump now appears willing to take the diplomatic route. ABC's Trevor Ault has the new details from Washington. Good morning, Trevor.
Janae and Kenneth, good morning to both of you. There have been several rising actions in the past week or so between the U.S. and Iran. Of course, we're seeing all of this play out. We heard those reports that the U.S. was preparing to send in 120,000 troops in response to an attack. But some members of Congress say they and the American people are really being left in the dark here.
With the U.S. carrier strike group now at the ready in the Arabian Sea, President Trump asked directly,
Mr. President, are we going to war with Iran? I hope not.
Concern rising after the sabotage of 3 Saudi oil tankers and a ship off the coast of the United Arab Emirates and non-essential American personnel ordered to leave Iraq. On Capitol Hill, legislators say they want answers. Director of National Intelligence Dan Coats holding a classified briefing Thursday with House and Senate leadership, but the rest of Congress won't be briefed until next week.
We've asked for a classified briefing for the entire Congress, I can only ask for the House of Representatives. We asked last week. They said they couldn't be ready.
The Wall Street Journal reporting both sides may have misread each other. Intelligence gathered by the U.S. shows Iran's leaders believe the U.S. planned to attack them, prompting preparation for possible counterstrikes. American officials tell ABC News there are images of missiles loaded onto Iranian boats on the Sea of Oman that they feared could be fired at ships. But some Democrats calling that intelligence reminiscent of previous instances that rushed America toward war.
I don't know if someone in the White House is waiting for a Gulf of Tonkin moment here to initiate military action against Iran. That would be a serious mistake.
Now the focus is on the administration's next move.
What you're hoping to do is to show them that we have military capabilities in the region, that if we are attacked by your proxies, we are going to respond to that forcefully.
And among those who want the U.S. to retaliate is Saudi Arabia. They have a state-run newspaper there that just ran an editorial calling for surgical strikes against Iran. So we will have to wait and see here because, of course, there are those reports that President Trump says he doesn't want to go to war, but we have to wait and see. He's just saying that he hopes we don't go to war.
Definitely a wait and see, Trevor. And we also heard a little bit from Senator Dick Durbin there, who has seen some of the intel in Iran, referencing a Gulf of Tonkin moment. What's he suggesting?
Yeah, so Senator Dick Durbin sort of famously voted against the war in Iraq. What he is insinuating here is that this might be an instance of some of this evidence that the U.S. intelligence community is gathering, and then maybe, in his opinion, hastily moving towards war. He thinks that while the U.S. is not necessarily starting up this war right now, they aren't necessarily doing anything to alleviate it. He also was very critical of National Security Advisor John Bolton. He called this whole idea Bolton strategy and said that while John Bolton supports what we're doing there, Israeli leader Benjamin Netanyahu wants to see more rising actions. The Saudi Crown Prince wants to see more rising actions. He is not a fan right now and thinks that the U.S. could be moving towards a war without the proper evidence based on the intelligence that we've seen.
And Trevor giving us a little bit of a history lesson on this Friday morning. Trevor, thank you for breaking it down once again.
No one better than you, Trevor. Thank you.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Well, wait, Trevor, do you want to weigh in on the drunkest nation?
Can we bring Trevor back?
You know what? Trevor never gets to talk about anything fun. So,
He
Trevor,
doesn't.
you pick right now. What is the one fun thing you want to talk about this morning on It's Morning America?
I'm going to guess Iran is not on the list of drunken countries.
No, it's not. Oh.
Other than that,
the drunkest nation is the UK. Are you surprised by that?
UK is number one,
Yes.
right? I'm surprised. I thought the gap would be larger because we're only like one drunk sesh behind them per year, right?
Yeah,
so
we
what
are.
you're saying is you want me to come down to Washington, we'll have a bro weekend.
Right. Yeah, we'll see if we
Why
can
are you
get
trying
those
to
numbers
leave
up.
me out?
Because I'm a big fan of Trevor's.
Me too.
Yes.
We're all just gushing over Trevor.
Oh,
Trevor, you are so
this is so
fabulous.
nice.
I'm sorry you never get to have any fun with us because it's all
That's all right.
straight
This
news
has
down
been
there.
great. I'm overwhelmed. This will carry me for a couple weeks.
Good.
Oh, good.
He's like, so don't ask me about anything
Right.
again.
Fabulous. Have a great weekend, Trevor.
Thank you. You too.
The president's new plan to reshape the immigration system is already facing an uphill battle in Congress.
In a Rose Garden speech, Trump laid out a merit-based proposal that favors high-skilled workers and those with advanced degrees or job offers. The president says immigrants won't compete for American jobs. The move would upend long-held U.S. policy based on family connections.
Future immigrants will be required to learn English and to pass a civics exam prior to admission.
Lawmakers say the plan has little chance of getting through Congress. Democrats are upset that it doesn't address so-called dreamers who were brought to the country illegally as children, and it doesn't cut overall immigration rates as many conservative Republicans would like.
Meanwhile, the battle over abortion is heating up across the country as another state pushes a tough new bill a step closer to becoming law. Missouri's Republican-led Senate voted to ban abortions at 8 weeks with no exceptions for rape or incest, and the governor is vowing to sign the bill. The move comes on the heels of Alabama enacting the most restrictive abortion law in the country, banning virtually all abortions at any stage. On Capitol Hill, Democrats and even some Republicans say the legislation goes too far.
And now to that spectacular and terrifying crash of an F-16 fighter jet in Southern California.
The jet came falling out of the sky at the end of a routine training mission. The pilot managed to eject before the jet smashed through the roof of a warehouse, leaving a dozen people injured.
Now, ABC's Marcy Gonzalez reports the investigation is underway into what went wrong.
This video showing an F-16 falling from the sky before crashing, ripping this hole through the ceiling of a California warehouse.
Holy dude.
The pilot who was coming in for landing at March Air Reserve Base in Riverside ejecting and surviving, according to authorities. You can see the seat and parachute there in the grass.
For some reason, whether it was a loss of thrust or a loss of controllability, this pilot was so close to the ground that he or she felt they had to pull that ejection handle and get out of the airplane.
Firefighters staging nearby but keeping a safe distance, concerned that the plane may have been loaded with weapons and ammunition.
That's a airplane.
Inside the warehouse, workers who were just feet away, incredibly managing to escape.
I just seen the ceiling from all over the building just start collapsing, and then the sprinklers were going off. It was just like sirens going off. It was chaotic. It was a madhouse in there. I made a run for it.
That witness saying only one of his colleagues was injured.
He was still conscious. I guess some type of sprinkler or something hit him in the face, so he was a little bloody, but he was okay for the most part.
Experts amazed this crash didn't ignite a fire.
The sprinklers have obviously been activated.
You can see sprinklers dousing the wreckage, the plane's tail visible through the debris. The investigation just beginning.
The real mystery is the plane was landing one way, but it impacted a warehouse almost 90 degrees off. That will be the question for investigators. How did it go from here to here?
Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Crazy video
Yes,
there.
incredible there. And the fact that there weren't more injuries.
Or an explosion.
Right.
Yeah. Well, watch this. School of Rays swimming off the coast of Australia. It's actually a pretty incredible video. Nailing an Olympic-style synchronized swimming routine. That is a great image.
Yeah, those are actually called cow nose rays.
Oh.
They're named for the shape of their heads, which look like cows' noses. So,
makes a lot of sense.
I am a connoisseur, an expert here. Yes, that's it. Stingrayologist.
Yeah, I thought that was
I only know
title.
stingrays. Well, coming up, the new score college admissions boards will be looking at.
It's not a test. It's based on the adversity the student has overcome. More after this.
High school students taking the SAT will soon have another data point for colleges to consider in their admissions process. It's a new system that assigns applicants a score based on the environment in which they grew up.
The score will not be seen by students. It'll only be shared by schools. ABC's Brad Milkey has more this morning.
Hey guys, yeah, later today, a lot of students who took the SAT a couple weeks ago will be able to see their scores. Well, next year, a lot of colleges will have access to a different score, so-called disadvantage score. This is a project from the people that administer the SAT, the College Board. And basically, it summarizes all this data about where you come from, average income, the crime rate in your neighborhood, how strong your school is, and spits it out in a report a college can look at. The idea is a student might have average test scores, but then a college looks at all these other factors and accepts a really exceptional young person. I talked to the CEO of the College Board, and I asked him, what do you do about a student whose challenges don't qualify? How do you measure adversity?
Well, the good news here is that colleges are working together with us to use things they've longed to look at but not had easy access to. So colleges have been getting school profiles from schools for a generation to try to understand where kids go to school. It's just some schools don't even have the resource to update their profiles and share that information.
They've always been asking for the data, they just didn't have it.
You totally get it. So the breakthrough here is not like new data or a new approach. It's just formalizing something colleges have been doing. And as you know, the personal essay, none of this reveals personal information about one kid's life. That can be done in a personal essay where they might share hardships that are unseen by any data.
And they say they already have 50 pilot schools testing this program from Yale to Florida State, and they say these schools are accepting a wider range of students because of it. We'll have a lot more on Start Here later this morning. Listen on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcasting app. Janae, Kenneth?
Let's go across the pond now to Joe Simonetti in the London Bureau. Good morning, Joe. So let's start with a very big first in Asia, Taiwan voting to legalize same-sex marriage.
Yeah, hi Kenneth, good morning. So this morning we've been watching scenes play out in the capital of Taipei. Thousands of gay men and women are on the streets celebrating today's court ruling. It now allows, for the first time, at least in this region in Asia, to legalizes same-sex marriage, which is a big deal, obviously, in this part of the world. It's still kind of controversial in Taiwan. It is quite liberal, but there are still pockets of conservative feelings and notions in Taiwan where this might not be seen as such a a big step, but it is. And Taiwan has also long been a leader of gay rights in Asia. They hold the annual Gay Pride Parade. Marriages and marriage certificates will be issued starting next week.
Wow, that's incredible.
That absolutely is. And Joe, back where you are, Prime Minister Theresa May, she's going to offer a timetable for Brexit that hopefully we will stick to, and her own departure.
Oh my God. I mean, you know, we talked about this, I think, the last time I was with you guys a month ago. We're back at it again. She has set another vote on a bill, on a Brexit deal that has failed 3 times. She's going to try it again the week that Donald Trump is here on June 3rd. The papers this morning are talking about her, last night, talking about her being tearful last night. Well, she was told that if this bill does not pass on June 3rd, that she should step aside, and it's something she's obviously seriously considering, and she probably should. And there are no short of any candidates who are looking to replace her. So we'll just have to wait and see. But it's going to play out during the week that Donald Trump is here. So quite a lot of drama.
Wow, and after this process, and even probably while our president is there in the UK, she probably will need a glass of red wine, which leads me to this next one. We know England isn't exactly known for wine. Maybe that's why a restaurant mistakenly served some lucky diners the wrong bottle. Worth how much again?
Well, this sounds like the start of a joke. 2 men walk into a bar and order a very expensive wine and get an even more expensive wine to drink. So this bottle of wine cost $300. And they would serve this bottle of wine and drank the bottle, and they asked for a second bottle of wine, and that's when the mistake was caught. And the second bottle of wine cost 17 times more than the first bottle. It was $6,000.
$6,000.
So they wanted a second bottle because that first one was so good.
Right.
Well, I mean, I guess if you order a $300 bottle of wine, you know what a $6,000 bottle of wine looks like. So, and they enjoyed the first bottle of wine, so they had the second bottle. They asked for a second bottle. The waiter came over and said, "I'm sorry." The manager came out and said, "We made a mistake." No one got in trouble for this. No one has to pay for this. But it was interesting that the restaurant tweeted a picture of both bottles side by side, saying, they look similar. I don't know if the picture that showed both bottles side by side. Actually, they don't look similar at all, actually, except they look like bottles of wine. One has a gold label, one has a red label. Anyway, you don't have to speak French. They obviously enjoyed it very much. The restaurant obviously has learned its mistake, and they're not going to hold anybody responsible for it. But I'm pretty sure this weekend that restaurant's going to be kind of busy for anyone else looking for a similar mistake.
I bet.
So they can make up the profits there. I would want to know that I was drinking a $6,000 bottle of wine.
You would want to know or wouldn't?
I would. I want to know because I'd be upset because I didn't really savor it. Because I would I smell it.
You want it to look
Listen, I'm a $10 bottle of wine myself, man. But if you're ordering a $300 bottle of wine, I'm pretty sure you have a pretty good idea.
Probably, right?
You kind of have a pretty good idea when they come over. They show you the bottle. I mean, come on, they must have known what they were doing. They must have kicked each other under the table and said, let's drink this. Anyway, they necked it and they enjoyed it, and who wouldn't? I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Well, Joe, thanks so much.
Thanks, Joe.
Kenneth,
Thanks, guys.
you're not much of a wine connoisseur. You're still drinking it from the box, aren't you? And that brings us to
Are you trying to shame me? Because there's nothing wrong with box wine.
There isn't. You slap that bag and you
just like turn it up.
That's what we did in college.
Nozzle.
You slap the bag and yeah.
Yes.
Look, that's what brings us to the question of the day. If you got served a more expensive bottle of wine by mistake, would you tell anybody? Honestly, would you even know the difference?
I would know the difference.
Slap that bag. Tell us in the comments or tweet at ABC News Live.
You get that little spigot.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we call it down south.
That spigot.
Spigot.
Yep, the wine straight from
Turn
the
it up.
spigot.
It's Kathy Griffin who used to say that her mother, tip it.
Tip it?
Tip it. She'd tip the box wide.
Oh.
So she always yelled, tip it, when she see her mother.
I'm down with that.
All right, so let's check our notifications, starting with a little ramen life hack. Watch this guy fix a broken sink with instant noodles.
And he seasoned it.
Why would he season it, though?
Because why would you ever have unseasoned noodles?
Well, that's very true.
But
the thing is, the moment you turn the sink on, right, won't it?
Will it?
But I don't know. It looks weird to me as well.
It does, but he made it work, and I'm pretty impressed.
Also, it scares me because people put, and by people I mean me back in the day, put a lot of ramen in my body.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm a built man.
Built man.
Yeah. Speaking of food.
Taco Bell has plans to let weary travelers live más.
Viva más.
The fast food chain, that's what?
That's my Spanish. Viva más.
Viva más.
Viva más.
They're opening a hotel, The Bell, a Taco Bell hotel and resort coming to Palm Springs, California in August. The company's promising everything will be infused with a Taco Bell twist.
Guests will also get Taco Bell branded robes, and they can book salon appointments to receive restaurant-inspired fades. Yep, the hotel starts taking reservations next month.
And you said that you would go to the salon and do what to your taco meat?
I'm going to ask for the chalupa. Just shape it up like a chalupa.
Yeah.
However that is.
A chalupa.
You want the quesadilla room?
Yes, a room in the quesadilla quarter.
That smells like cheese.
Please, extra cheese, if you will,
How
with
about
the fire
this?
sauce.
How about this?
What?
A new facial filter
this.
is triggering a lot of response on Snapchat and from Janae.
All over social media. So, okay, this is the thing. It's a gender swapping feature. Miley Cyrus was among the many to try it out. The filter, it'll change a woman's features for what's traditionally considered a man's features and vice versa. So the male, quote unquote, look gives women a square jaw, stubble, short hair. The quote unquote women look gives guys a smoother skin, longer hair, makeup. It made Kenneth look like a doll. I'm just gonna be honest. You were beautiful.
I was beautiful.
Like,
and there's
beautiful.
the proof.
And so we decided to do this Ja Rule and J-Lo collabo.
Who's nailing it right now?
That's fine if you're a better looking woman than I am man.
You're a good looking man there. Good looking man.
I look like a built man.
I know your husband can't wait to see that.
No, he's really sick of the pictures of me. That's a man.
How am I a blonde? I'm got a
I
little
don't know,
blonde
but
highlights.
those cheekbones, like how good does Kenneth look? Seriously. And
Looks
you know
like
what
my
the thing is he knows he looks good.
Oh.
Because when he first tried it yesterday, and when I tell you, Kenneth, he didn't want to do it. He was reluctant. He put it up. Kenneth saw that and smiled so big and was like, oh.
I caught my eye.
Oh.
I caught my eye.
He was very impressed.
They
with
always
himself.
say we're in love with ourselves.
You certainly were, and with good reason. Coming up, we check in with the man running across America.
He's 100 miles in, but he's got a long way to go. More after this.
Here is what to watch out for this Friday. Activist groups are taking President Trump's national emergency declaration to court, hoping for an injunction to prevent the use of military funds to build a border wall.
Patriots owner Robert Kraft is due in court for a hearing. Kraft is charged with solicitation of prostitution in connection with a wide-ranging human trafficking investigation at a Florida massage parlor. And President Trump is due to speak at the National Association of Realtors Trade Expo after returning to Washington.
Plus, don't forget to tune in to the debrief for an update on all our top stories and the briefing room for a breakdown of the latest headlines in politics.
So we have an update this morning on a young man we've been following on a spectacular journey.
He's running across the country from the Jersey Shore to California to raise money for mental health awareness, and Will Gans checked on his progress.
Brady Silver, the real-life Forrest Gump running across America.
Just ran across this bridge, baby. I just felt like running.
Now almost 2 weeks and more than 100 miles into his trek to California.
I'm doing honestly better than I thought I would be doing.
His snack game almost as strong as his cross-country pace.
I told you I was gonna eat like this, but I literally just downed 2 slices of pizza and then I have some pasta that I'm gonna get into in a little bit.
Recovering each day with more than just some comfort food.
Really treating my body well, icing and getting good compression on your muscles.
Some days are tough.
The 3rd day I just woke up and the body was just not feeling so good.
But some days are steps in a great direction.
My grandma, she lives in a retirement home in Norristown, Pennsylvania. I just added her retirement center to our route. So special. She was just shocked. She just looked at me like eyes, like this. She's in her 90s and I don't get to see her too often, and it was such a special moment.
And with days like that, Brady choosing not to focus on the finish line 2,900 miles away. Instead, throwing a post-run party wherever he finds himself.
I think the whole thing is a celebration.
And it's all for a good cause. This month, Brady running to raise funds for mental health awareness.
No matter what age you are or where you come from, this is a run for all kinds of people.
Will Gans, ABC News, New York.
And you may not have to run to stay healthy, but you apparently do have to at least walk fast.
Researchers looking at the histories of nearly 500,000 adults found that people who generally walked briskly lived up to 15 years longer on average. than people who generally poked along at a more leisurely pace.
Interestingly enough, the study found that ratio held true even if the walkers, the fast walkers, were severely overweight. So it pays to put some pep in your step.
It does. And also, just another reminder to all the folks out there, including my mother, get out there and walk.
Walk.
Walk, walk, walk. You don't have to run.
Nope, you just get those shoulders and arms.
You get the shimmy?
Yeah.
Oh, no, not a shimmy.
Oh,
Nobody
close,
wants a shimmy and walk.
Close, but get your hips, get to it.
It's obviously Friday for us, right?
Mm-hmm. We're about to walk right out of here.
Shimmy right on out of here.
Real briskly. So that's it for us.
Have a great weekend. We will see you on Monday.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.